One time I pulled an all-nighter 3 nights in 1 week, and then I tried to go out afterwards, and I would not recommend that. Welcome back to the least watched channel on the tube. Say hi. I would call myself an all-nighter pro. You might say I have my master's in all-nighter studies, an all-nighter connoisseur of sorts. Is this a good thing? No, but did it get me through college? Yes it did. Now, I'm about to supply you with all of the tips that you will need to pull a true all-nighter, not a fake high school teen all-nighter where you just mess around for 6 hours instead of sleeping, which doesn't make sense to me. Like, the point of an all-nighter is that you have something to do, and that's why you have to pull an all-nighter. You don't go into an all-nighter being like, oh, this is a cute, fun thing to do. Like, you go into an all-nighter like, oh my god, I have a 10-page paper to write in less than 10 hours, and I have to get it start to finish, and I have to get my citations in, and it has to be formatted correctly, and I need a passing grade. Like, that is an all-nighter. And if you don't have that urgency, I just don't even know what the point of the all-nighter is. Anyway, so these are my pro tips for how to pull a successful all-nighter. And the reason that I won't be pulling an all-nighter for this video is because I don't believe that you need to pull an all-nighter on camera to prove that you have pulled an all-nighter, but I can insert clips of some of my previous all-nighters. Also, I've already done enough damage to my body with all-nighters, and I really don't think that I need to do any more for content. Also, my therapist likes me to keep a regular sleeping schedule, and I've been sleeping very well lately, so I'm not about to jeopardize that.
So I know I just said that you don't need to prove that you pulled all-nighters via photo and video evidence, but apparently that's what I am going to do. So here's a compilation of me pulling various all-nighters. Enjoy. But don't pull 2 in a row. That was a mistake. Rousseau and I did not get along. Watching Victorious because I got trapped in the lab. And this is just me pounding an entire pot of coffee during finals. Thank you.
So, these are your pro tips for how to pull a successful all-nighter. So first, you want to decide where you will conduct your all-nighter, and I would recommend either, if you're in like a dorm situation, your lounge, or if you're in the library, that's fine too. You're going to want to take some things with you, and those I'll touch on throughout the video. But my first tip is to eat and hydrate throughout the night to stay awake. And this is really important because ordinarily, if you're up at like 2:30 or 3 in the morning, like, you don't feel like eating because that's not your normal meal time. Or maybe you do, I don't know. But also for me, like, if I've had a lot of caffeine, my stomach starts to get upset, and then so I don't want to hydrate or eat anything. However, it is one of the most important things you can do on your all-nighter because eating provides you with energy, and hydration keeps your body in some semblance of sanity. If you eat and hydrate throughout the night, that will help keep you from crashing. Tip number 2 is to take periodic breaks for like physical exercise. And I'm not talking about a workout, but I'm just saying, like, if it's 4 a.m. and you just finished your thesis and you cannot possibly imagine writing the introduction to your body paragraph, just hop up, do some jumping jacks, just try to reset. It really helps get out some extra energy. And alternatively, you could like run to the bottom of your building and then run back up to the top, like wherever you are floor-wise, or run up to the top of the building and then run back to your floor. Just like a little something to get your endorphins up, and that really helps. That'll make you feel more awake. Number 3 is vital, and this is probably what I spend most of my all-nighters doing, and that is watch funny videos or inspirational videos when your morale is really low. Now, I would categorize this into TV shows, if you have like a TV in your lounge or the library, and YouTube videos. Now, the YouTube videos, I would say music videos are really good. Anything like classic Disney, Jonas Brothers, High School Musical, Cheetah Girls, Big Time Rush. You cannot go wrong with Big Time Rush unless you start crying, which sometimes I do at some of their songs. So maybe don't, just use your own judgment. I mentioned this in another video, but when they sing More in Cody Banks 2, it is, and I could watch that scene a million times, and I probably have. Also amazing, the performance scene in School of Rock. That's so inspirational. Okay, now moving on to the TV realm. If you are a habitual all-nighter, it really helps to ground you if you have a certain show or something that you can have on in the background while you're doing your all-nighters. For me and my friends, it was the Game Show Network, and the best show by far was Baggage. And if you don't know what Baggage is, I will really encourage you to check it out. It is hosted by Jerry Springer. Oh yeah, at some point, if you get to know the TV schedule well enough, like I knew that How It's Made would come on at like 6 a.m. So if I was like almost done with my paper and then How It's Made came on, I would just take a break and be totally mesmerized by How It's Made, because How It's Made hits different when you're on like hour 35 with no sleep. It really does, and I just can't explain it to you, but it does. Okay, number 5, all of your caffeine needs. Now, I drink coffee throughout the day. If I'm doing an all-nighter, I will mainly caffeinate around like 10 p.m. I'll get a big coffee, and then again at like 4:30 a.m. I'll brew some coffee in my room. And it's very important to have caffeine on standby, because if you're somewhere where you don't have access past like 10 p.m. to coffee, then you're going to want to have that ahead of time so that it's not like 4 a.m. and you're passing out. Because I mean, like, you're allowed to do that, but if you want to like go hard and get the all-nighter done, then you're gonna need some extra caffeine, probably. Also though, like if you have an undiagnosed anxiety disorder like I did, that also really helps keep you awake, because there's just something about all of the adrenaline surging in your veins from having such high levels of anxiety. So I've never tried like Red Bull or caffeine pills, just because my brain chemistry is already messed up enough as it is. So I just stick to the tried and true coffee. So I don't know how that other stuff would work. If you are working all night and the sun begins to come up, I would recommend taking in the sunrise. It's a beautiful moment, and there are 2 ways to look at the sun coming up. Like, you can think about it like, oh my god, the sun is coming up. I have been working on this paper since like 10 p.m. It is 5:30 or 6 a.m. and I haven't even done my homework yet. Or you can think of it as the beautiful start to a new day, a fresh start. If you and a friend are pulling an all-nighter together, it's a wonderful opportunity to go somewhere where you can view the sunrise. And it's a very peaceful moment amidst a night of dread and anxiety and sadness. Definitely would recommend that. Also, wherever you're doing all-nighters, you might want to take a blanket with you, because, for example, like if I did it in the library, once everyone leaves at like midnight, the library starts getting chilly, and the worst thing ever is if you're sitting there trying to do your homework and you're shivering. Like, no, that's when you just want to pack it up and go home. So you need to prepare, bring a blanket, always have all your chargers with you. I think I already said that. The last piece of advice is, especially for ladies, like, don't walk home alone at 3 a.m. if you decide to bail on your all-nighter in the middle of the night. Like, you're gonna want to go hard or go home probably. So like, pick where you want to do it and know that you'll be able to stay there the whole night, because it's like not really safe to walk around by yourself at night at like 3 a.m. in the dark. Like, if you have somewhere you can stay all night, that's optimal. Also, like, if you are just totally checked out at 3 or 4 a.m. and you're like, there's no way I'm doing this, I need like 2 hours of sleep so that I can hop on it again at like 7 or 8, then you can also nap in the library. I have done that before. I've pushed 2 chairs together during finals and slept on them in the library, and it was a sad time, and I wouldn't recommend it, but I did get through it, and I did get through those finals. Yeah, I guess those are just the all-nighter pro tips. I wouldn't recommend all-nighters, but I would say they are, if you like procrastinate at all, or if you have a lot of schoolwork, or if your school's really hard, I would say all-nighters can be necessary. Then the necessary can be necessary. One time I pulled an all-nighter 3 nights in 1 week, and then I tried to go out afterwards, and I would not recommend that. It was not a good time, and I ended up just going back to my room and sleeping. I used to pull all-nighters all the time. I had 3 classes in a row. I had 8:30, 9:30, 10:30 classes, and I would pull all-nighters before those classes doing my homework, and it was absolutely miserable. So if this method worked for me, you should be fine doing like 1 all-nighter on it. This is a tried and true method. I stay by this. I've shared it with others. It hasn't steered me wrong. I think also a certain sense of confidence is important. Like, go into it saying like, I'm gonna get this done. I'm gonna do an all-nighter. Like, let's do the damn thing. Yeah, so this is no shade towards like the dote girls or whatever, anyone who wants to pull an all-nighter on a school night who's like 15. Like, that's totally fine. I just wanted to share these tips for a real all-nighter, and maybe you have your own tips. Like, yeah, leave them in the comments below. Subscribe or don't. I probably wouldn't. And yeah, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Peace out. Is this straight? James Charles at any boy that he's interested in.